Welcome, Nicole. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Miss Lee?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to have you here. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Congratulations on winning the Beethoven Festival, the gold medal. You performed Beethoven Sonata Opus 22. That was
Mhm.
excellent work.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really grateful for the opportunity, and I really enjoyed watching everyone's performances of the Beethoven sonatas and different pieces. It was a very enjoyable experience for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Where you go to school? And
Mhm.
what's your favorite subject in school?
Yeah, I go to St. Paul's boarding school in New Hampshire. It's an hour's drive away from Boston, so I'm able to extend my musical activities beyond just school itself. And I would say that my favorite subject is probably humanities. My academic interests have definitely jumped around a lot throughout high school, but I still find myself drawn towards the subject of humanities. And at school, we actually use something called the Harkness method. So everyone sits around in a round table, and then we have different discussions among the students, and the teacher would just guide us. So it would be a very meaningful experience every time. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do outside of school other than your music?
Yeah, outside of school, I really like actually engaging with my community. I'm a part of many leadership programs, and I just love to interact with kids, especially. So, in fact, since the pandemic, I've been connecting with kids around the world, primarily located in Shanghai, giving them online lessons, tutoring English and French.
Nico, when did you start learning the piano?
I started actually at the age of 6 when I first moved to Vancouver. Mhm.
Now, how has that experience for you? Has it been hard, or is that just something that you love doing so much you don't ever need your parents to make you to
Well,
practice?
yeah, piano is a huge part of my identity and my journey growing up. I've been playing for around 11 years now, I'd say, and it's definitely changed for me throughout the whole experience. When I first started, it was my choice to begin playing the piano. I was just experimenting on an electric piano we had at home, and I told my mom that I wanted to start this music instrument. So that's how my piano journey began at first. But when I was just starting this instrument, it took a lot of my mom just constantly being by my side, monitoring what I was doing on the piano and telling me to practice more. But slowly, as I got to know the instrument and I was able to play with different people and meet new friends through this music journey, piano became, I think, it really spoke out to me and became something that I needed in my life. Yeah.
Did you perform a lot when you were little?
Yeah, we used to have, when I was studying with my teacher in Vancouver, we had different recitals just among the students. And I also perform in master classes. My first major, I think, piano performance was with an orchestra, the Vancouver Philharmonic Orchestra in Vancouver. So I was able to play the Mozart Concerto in A major with them after winning a competition. And that really sparked my interest, I think, in music. And since then, for me, music is not just about myself, but it's more about giving back to my community and sharing the joy with others.
What has it been the most rewarding experience on this journey?
Yeah, for me, it was, as I was mentioning, the performance, my
Mm.
first performance with the orchestra. I remember vividly after the concert, an old lady came up to me and she told me how much the music meant to her. She gave me a letter actually, and in the letter, she talked about how I was able to bring back very profound memories from before. And that just made me realize that music really, it's a universal language. It speaks to everyone, and it's what brings people together. Yeah.
How do you go about learning the new piece and the practice?
Mm. Well, I really have to thank all my teachers in the past, and especially Mr. Rosenbaum. They really helped me build up my technique. And I would say whenever I get a new piece, especially for Beethoven, he really indicates what he wants the music to be performed as. All his dynamic markings, the expressions are very clear, I think, to the pianist or the musician behind the score. So for me, when I first start this sonata or any of his music, I would approach it with very careful examination of what Beethoven really wants, and make sure that even though I might be playing under tempo with not the proper articulation, I have to keep in mind what his intentions are and try to follow the score as much as possible. Um, and just start slow, I guess, but correctly. Mhm.
I observed that you seem to connect with the music very deeply. And how do you do that part? How do you make that music become part of you and have it come out of the keyboard?
Yes. So looking at a score, it's definitely a little bit difficult. You just see bars and notes. But I feel like music is more than that. It flows over bar lines. And I think for me, I just have to sometimes back up from the score and uh, close my eyes, try to play it according to what my heart wants and my interpretation. Just let the music flow, not just play notes, I would say. Yeah.
Do you do a lot of slow practice? How's your practice session go and how much do you practice?
Yeah, so I would say I try to get around 2 to 3 hours on a normal school day, because I have to balance schoolwork and piano. But I try to get as much music practice as I can when I'm a little bit freer. And I would, when I first start a piece, practice slowly, using different like sometimes I would practice with staccato articulation just to get the notes secured or block the different arpeggios into chords. I would also try to break up the harmonies because a lot of composers they have various lines, and some of them they're hidden melodies that are very beautiful actually. So I try to just practice them by themselves and isolate each voice. Yeah.
Do you enjoy performing?
I do, I do. Sometimes I would have to say it gets a little nerve-wracking at first. My hands would be a little bit cold, but once the music starts, it's a very enjoyable experience.
What's your favorite composer if you have one?
A Chopin for me, he's, I think, my favorite probably. I played his concerto in E minor, number one, and it was an incredible journey for me. Yeah.
Are you thinking about doing music in the future? What this music is only part of something bigger?
Would say that I do want to continue my music throughout my entire life. And my hope is to pursue a double major. So with music and another academic study, I believe.
What's the future projects for you, or what are you working on?
Yeah, so right now I'm preparing a big repertoire. It's around an hour long, I think, for the exam that I'm preparing for. So it's the Royal Conservatory of Music. I'm about to take the final level ARCT. And since the pandemic, all the exams have been moved online. So I'd have to find a time pretty soon to record it. Yeah.
If you have a word of encouragement for the little kids who are about to enter the classical world, what would you say?
I would say really just to have fun, enjoy music. It's all about sharing it, uh, the joy of music with others, and just having a great time on the piano too.
Thank you so much. Certainly hope to see you more in the future.
Thank you so much, Miss Lee.